In this video, we will finish the modeling of the flowering wild garlic by adding a blossom to it. We'll also learn how to use dummy objects for distributing instances. First, we'll create a stalk with an advanced segment and rename the node to stalk. The stalk should have a length of 17 ± 3 centimeters. The radius should be 0.25 centimeters and it should decrease to about 10% of the original size towards the top. Let's add some curl along the local x-axis with a random filter distribution. This deforms the stalk just ever so slightly. I'll go with a strength of 0.5 ± 0.2. We'll also add a direction bias of 0 ± 0.5 along x, y, and z. And we'll also add some random rotation around the z-axis of 360 degrees on the Transform tab. Finally, to ensure that the stalk is still pointing upwards, let's add a tropism strength of 1. The material is automatically inherited from the graph input. Let's check the parametric option, which means that the tiling that we now enter for u and v will be absolute and not per length or per length unit. And let's adjust the v tile to about 10 repetitions. So now we need to grow several smaller green stems out of the tip of the main stem. These stems will hold the white petals, and together all of them will form the final blossom. The problem is that a wild garlic blossom has a hemispherical arrangement of the blossom stalks, and we cannot reproduce this arrangement by simply connecting a new stem to the tip of the existing stalk. Instead, we need to set up an object that will distribute the stems along a virtual hemisphere, and that's where the dummy object function comes into play. In PlantFactory, you can turn an urchin or sphere into a dummy by setting its skin parameter to none. Let me show you this by adding an urchin to the scene and renaming it to dummy. Let's go to the new child tab on the stalk, set the urchin to grow out from the tip of the segment, and reset the growth angle to 0. Now let's add another advanced segment, which will be the stalk for the petals. The new segment is now distributed along the surface of the urchin. But when we set the skin parameter of the urchin to none, the urchin itself disappears, and we can now use this node to only control the distribution of the petal stalks. You can also do this the same way with an advanced segment node, and it is really useful in lots of cases. Let's adjust the petal stalks next. The length should be around 1.8 centimeters ± 0.2, and the radius should be 0.01 for a thin stalk. To create a curvy look in the middle of the stalks, let's add some tropism of 1 ± 0.2, and let's then edit the filter and restrict the effect to the middle portion of the stalk with a slight fall off towards the end. I want the stalks at the very top of the invisible urchin to point up ever so slightly from their original local position, so let's use a direction bias in local coordinates along -z. With the green parent curve, which controls the strength of the force according to the stalk's position on the invisible urchin, we can make the bias affect the stalks at the top more than the stalks on the urchin side. We still need to adjust the settings in the urchin. I want to have 20 ± 5 petal stalks, and they should start at around 0.44 ± 0.05% of the height, which produces our hemispherical look. The urchin's radius also needs to be a lot smaller, so I'll reduce it to a tiny value such as 0.01, and I'll also fine-tune the density filter a bit, so that we have a slow dip towards the middle and then immediately more instances at the top third of the sphere. For the petals, we'll select the petal stalk and add another advanced segment. The new node is automatically connected and we can rename it to Petals. Then let's activate blades and set the segment radius to 0. On the new child tab in the petal stalk, the petals need to grow from the tip of the segment. Next, let's copy the profile filter from the leaf node and paste the filter into the petal profile. Just like the leaves, the blade type is full width. We'll make use of the section shapes from the multicurve, so by unfolding the node, we can connect the multicurve to the section parameter and reduce the section height to a smaller value. I'll go with a subtle effect of 0.2 ± 0.1. Next, let's adjust the length to 0.9 ± 0.1 and the width to 0.1. Let's now add more petals. Back on the child tab of the stalk, we can create a group of petals with the whorl settings, and this group will grow out from the tip. I'll create 5 ± 1 petals. And we also need to adjust the growth angle to 90 degrees so that the petals grow in a right angle to the stalk. To make the petals all face into the right direction, we need to go to the Petals Transform tab and rotate them by 90 degrees around Z. The petals also need some curl, so we need a curl bias in local coordinates so that each petal curls in its own individual direction. The petals should curl downwards along the -y axis. A curl strength of 0.1 ± 0.1 is enough. We'll also add a local direction bias that will force each petal slightly towards the sky, again with a low strength of 0.2 ± 0.1. Let's now load the petal material for the blades from the content browser. Finally, to create a blossom-like growth angle, we'll add some rotation around the x-axis on the Transform tab. A negative value will make the petals point upwards, so I'll go with -33 degrees ± 10 degrees. Next up are the seeds. These are easy to create because they are stretched spheres. So with the petal stalks node selected, we'll add a ball node, rename it to Seeds, reduce the radius to 0.03 and stretch the ball slightly along Z on the Transform tab. We can also increase the resolution until the seeds look smooth enough. The material is automatically inherited from the petal stalks. Now we just need to place the seeds at the tips of the stalks and we need to create another whorl group with 3 instances. The seeds are too close, and we can fix this by slightly offsetting them along Z on the Transform tab. Now what's left are the white mini stalks that are part of the blossom. They also grow out of the petal stalk, so we need to select the petal stalk, add another advanced segment, and rename it to white stalk. These white stalks should grow from the tip of the segment in a group of 6 and with an angle of about 43 degrees. The stalk length should be around 0.3 plus minus 0.05, and the radius should be 0.02. We'll save some time and resources by setting the material to the white petal material. So these tiny stalks become thicker at their top. The easiest way to achieve this is by editing the section of the segment. Let's select the beginning of the cylinder and scale it down. Then we'll add 2 more subdivisions at the end and rescale the second subdivision to the full radius. We can move both subdivisions back and forth to get a nice soft transition. Let's close this dialog with OK, and we also need to boost the mesh resolution on the Transform tab to make the shape visible. We can exaggerate the existing shape by additionally editing the orange radius filter curve and reducing the radius to about 60% for the first 80% of the stalk's length. And now let's create a smooth cap profile by moving the right control point up and changing this to a smooth curve so that we get a rounded top for the stalks. Checking the smoothing box helps to better blend between the top and the sides without any harsh seams. And for finishing touches, let's add some slight local curl on the Influences tab along -X and +C with a strength of 0.4 plus minus 0.05. We still need to place a single stalk in the center of the seeds without the thicker shape at the tip. So let's copy and paste the white stalk node and rename it to white stalk center. We need to delete the existing connection and reconnect it to the stalk as a new child. On this new child tab, we'll move the stalk again to the tip of the segment, reset the growth angle to 0, and add some random rotation of 360 degrees. Inside of this newly created stalk node, we need to reset the radius and the section shape, and then edit the radius curve so that the stalk thins out at the tip. And let's also reduce the curl strength to 0.1 for a very subtle effect. The flowering wild garlic is now finished and ready to be saved to your plant library. If you want to, you could create 2 presets out of the plant, one with and one without the blossom. To learn how to create presets, simply check out part 5 of the Gerbera flower tutorial series. I hope you learned some valuable techniques for creating grasses and weed-like plants, and you now have lots of ideas for your own projects. See you in the next tutorial.